years. Conditions are right for it. Average at 41. And this is Nicolas Prodhomme. Now a GC man. It's incredible May and June he had last year. Started in April when he was away with Paul Sixas. Remember that, the Tour of the Alps, the two-up attack. You wondered who was going to win, and it was one of them that was going to take their first professional win. It was Prodhomme on the day. And then he seemed to turn into Alberto Contador. Won a stage in the Giro. On the attack, climbing wonderfully. Then won the Route d'Occitanie, the old Route du Sud. And he's just been rewarded with a new contract. Whilst we've been on air, actually, the news has come out that Nicolas Prodhomme has extended his deal to the end of 2028. So that's good reward for him. Trying to be nosy there, just can't quite hear Victor Camperas. Enough to hear that brilliant accent of his. Not quite what he was saying. He was having a chat there to Casper Pedersen. This is the scene. Now then, suddenly it's on. Dan Horler. And it's all for the turn. A few riders who were just sleeping a little behind then had to play catch-up. And there is that turn. Everybody wanted to keep their riders safe. You imagine here that on the next road things calm down again. It's probably going to be like that at every twist and turn.
Yes, and you could see Dan Horler there. He was just, having a laugh, really. He just upped the pace a bit. And you could see the way everybody reacted immediately. And, that is the way now. When they're turning left or right, or if there is a, section coming up where it is going to be side wind. But there's no wind at all today. No. But still, every corner, there's so much tuned to that, doing it all the time now in every race. The moment one rider make an effort, and if there's one or two teammates around, they say, oh, they are going to have a go here. But we can see it was just a little bit of a play around from Dan Horler there, and it's all settled back down again.
Into the Gâtinais. This is the area a few years ago when we had one of the best crosswind stages in Paris-Nice we've seen. With that wind not blowing, and they're still having a laugh about it behind Dan Horler, with everyone looking at him and probably less politely saying they'd scared him there. But we all know that when it isn't going quite quick enough, this can happen. Riders are down at Paris-Nice. Two from Decathlon. On the left-hand side, there was someone as well, Eddie Dunbar, just getting his bike sorted there. There's a rider down there from Total who's still down, also a rider from Bahrain. The rider involved from EF Education Easy Post is Marijn van den Berg. 107 there is Callum Scotson. 103, the rider who went down, is Kees Paul, right-hand side sprinter from Decathlon. 182 helping out Eddie Dunbar. That's Fabio Christen who's been down. 53 from Bahrain who's still down is Phil Bauhaus. He's their sprinter. That's not good news from Bahrain. And just about getting to his feet now is Sandy Dujardin, another fast finisher from Total Energy. So at least three of the sprinters here in a bit of bother.
Yes, and that's when it's really going slow here, and it can happen at any time, as you said, Rob. Just a little touch of wheels. Riders start to relax a bit going along at this pace, and we can see it's caused problems. Quite a few riders, suffering a bit there. Bauhaus, we can see there, he hit the ground pretty hard, but it will just wake up everybody again. You have to be all the time focused. You cannot drop it at all.
Still Bauhaus with his change of bike. Sandy Dujardin as well. Dujardin, one of the faster finishers for Total Energy, not necessarily the man who might contest the sprint, he'd be a candidate. They've also got Anthony Turgis, let's not forget. But he's nursing his wounds here. And it was just after, we were talking about it speeding up, everybody slows down, they start to turn around and have a laugh. You could see it at the front, and the sort of ripple went back, didn't it?
Yes, I think it went back through the peloton, because you could see, you know, when you're a bit further back, you can see the effort, and when they turn the corner, you can see them, then it just totally slows down again. So I think everybody was just saying, you know, what are they doing up front? And you just start to, you know, relax a bit and, you know, drop your concentration, and then you can touch a wheel very easy, and sometimes that can be the most dangerous. And from experience, I know myself, there were some of the crashes where I broke bones, and you were just going at such a slow pace, but again, you know, you just lack a bit of concentration, and you touch a wheel, or riders down in front of you go over the top, and you can do more damage than you do when you're going at high speed when you come down in that situation.
I wonder how Marijn van den Berg is, because yesterday his lead out was key to Luc Lamperti's victory. He's making his way back there. Keersbol has an escort. He's got a couple of riders with him. Fabio Christen is there with Eddie Dunbar. In fact, it's Prodhomme and Scottson who are looking behind for Keersbol. Prodhomme, the GC man for Decathlon. Just been talking about him in his extended contract. Keersbol now is making his way back behind the car. Yesterday, just outside the top 10. Great form in the opening weekend for Decathlon CMA CGM. CGM, I should say. And there's the bunch. Not exactly in a hurry. Showing the distance, though, you've got to cover to get back. The rider from Bahrain involved was Bauhaus. Now, considering how he was moving before, he's moving all right there. And Dujardin's the rider in the white jersey there. Bauhaus on a mission to get back to the peloton.
Yes, he is coming back, considering the peloton has really slowed up up front, but we can see there, you know, a great shot of Bauhaus just using the cars there. He go by, and there's a little bit of a gap between the car he's passing and the one ahead. He just goes in, get that rafting, and comes out again to get around the next car. And when it's going at a real fast rate, that is, you know, really important that you get in the cavalcade and use the cars to get back on.
Keersbol in conversation with Luke Rowe there. Decathlon Sports Director. With all the crash going on behind, a lot of riders taking advantage to have comfort breaks, and as you said, the peloton on a relative go slow, really. Waiting for everyone to get back. Just under 30k still to go here. Quick check on the health of Fabio Christen. Looks like the worst he's got is a few ripped numbers on the back. So considering how, well, what it could have been, not looking too bad after that incident, everybody. Something for the paint. And something for morale there from Victor Campenaerts. He could just see that Vigo had taken the opportunity to stop for a comfort break. Now then, here we go. It's kicking off again. Just as riders get back in, another turn is approaching, and NSN wanted to keep Biniam up to the front. This is their last chance with Biniam at this race, probably. They don't want to let it go. And each and every corner, as we just saw, matters.
Or does it?
Again, I certainly think it does.
Well, it looks like as you go into the corner, it's going to matter, and then get into the corner, get around the corner, it's just all calm down again. But yeah, you cannot just calm down the riders. I think there's a lot of riders saying, okay guys, what's the point of making these efforts into those corners when we're not going to continue at all? But they're just so used to doing it all the time now in races, and they've been doing it probably from the start of the career, some of those younger guys, and it's just the normal thing when you see it turning left or right, or there's something danger zone coming up. They make these efforts, and yeah, it doesn't have any effect on the race at all, but it does keep your riders, of course, in the front end, and you keep in a really good position, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, you're going to get crowded out, and you lose 10 or 20 places very quickly.
Yeah, that's why they do it, isn't it? Keep that position at the front. It's made life a little harder for Sandy Dujardin. The magic spray. And at the front, Lotto one side. Keep your eyes on those pink helmets a little further back as well. Welcome back to stage 2 of Paris-Nice. You're looking at Sandy Dujardin at the medical car there. Just been in conversation with the doctor about his helmet and his head. Of course, there are a series of questions and assessments that doctors are required to make with regards to concussion and things like that. All clear. He did go on the radio a minute ago to his team. Of course, he's on a spare bike here. Checking everything's all right, because he will be expected to be involved in the finale today, either for himself or for Anthony Turgis. He's the man who was the last to get up, really, alongside the rider who came back a moment ago for Bahrain, who was Phil Bauhaus. Magic spray and clean of the wounds while he was at the doctor's car as well. And in the meantime, things move on. We're 26 kilometres from the conclusion of the stage. If you're joining us just now, you haven't missed much today. Bit of calm, quiet day, save for a crash, and a bit of bonus second fun. Well, fun if your name's Vitor Braat or Juan Ayuso, because Vitor Braat took 6 bonus seconds, Luc Lamperti only 2, so they're now level at the top of the GC, with 10, 6 and 4 bonus seconds available for the final sprint. And Juan Ayuso took 4 bonus seconds at the intermediate sprint. He's taken a big advantage on his rivals going into the next few days for the GC. There's the Lotto team in their red jerseys, who brought things back with 60 kilometres to go today in the breakaway. 2 breakaway riders with Casper Pedersen and Mathis Lebert. Pedersen will remain the king of the mountains at the end of the day after having won all 3 classified climbs today. Average speed only just above 41 today. It's been just about as calm as you get. Well, they're into another town, and there are more traffic obstacles to get by. This is Guillaume Boivin signalling, left-hand side of your picture, looking after Biniam. Biniam Girmay, who has 2 wins this season already, looking for number 3. Look at those wind turbines, almost completely still today. It's not what the organisers imagined when they designed the route.
It's not what they were hoping for, and you can see there the way they're going along at the peloton. You know, it's just very, very packed, full road here, and you can see just a little, you know, tunnels going through the village. This is always dangerous because you have too many riders, you know, very packed together there, and there's no space for moving about. Where if you're going at a faster rate, it's stretched out quite a lot, and it makes it that bit safer. So it's, yeah, nervous times there. If you're back, you know, 10, 15 places in the middle of that group, you're just hoping that you get through those pinch points safe. And yeah, it's going to get to a point now where we're, you know, inside the final 25 kilometres. It is going to start ramping up. But again, often we see we expect it to ramp up. It just goes on, and you get into maybe 10 kilometres to go, and it still hasn't really, you know, got up to the rate where you would be expecting it. But there'll be surely a team who want to take control. But again, you can see the way they're looking. They're in line here with their sprinters, and they all want to wait and wait, and nobody wants to commit because they want to keep their manpower for as late as possible and do that lead out all the way to the point where the sprinter is going to just go for it or drop them off in the case for some of the teams. And yeah, it's a one where I think it's good that that intermediate sprint points, that it was contested a bit by Lotto Intermarché up the pace, because we're about 12 minutes down on the slowest pace. So the organisers will be happy. It's not too bad if they start just ramping it up now in the next number of kilometres. You know, will be within the times they had calculated if it was a no-win day.
Yeah, we won't have the local police complaining too much that they've had to work overtime to close the roads. A few things to close around here, by the way. Did you know there are 131 bridges in Montargis? They call it the Venice of the Gâtinais. Gâtinais being the region, and it's hosted Paris-Nice on a couple of occasions before. We were here a couple of years ago for Arvid de Klein. He was the first World Tour winner for Tudor Pro Cycling, Dutch sprinter. And 22 years ago, Pedro Rio, man from northern Spain. He won the second stage back in 2004. Montargis actually more famous in Tour de France circles. Herman van Springel, what a name. 1969 he was the winner. Guess who won in 2005 here? Good mate of ours. He's probably just gone to bed because he was commentating Tirreno Adriatico down under. It's Robbie McEwen. I'm sure he's listening on the highlights. And another man who might be watching, Mark Cavendish. 16 years ago now, 2010 won a stage here.
Yes, and that tells us about the train here. It's for the it's a sprinters part of the France here, and in the Tour of France, you know, and in the Paris-Nice as well. There's always these flat stages and flat running. So yeah, a lot of the names that pop up there are the fast men.
Tudor coming to the front again. They know this finish very well. Remember, winners 2 years ago for Arvid de Klein. He hasn't returned the race here. They do have Pluimers and Trentin. Kluker's moving up as well. He's the Luxembourg national champion. And this is Alex Baudin. We saw him pulling briefly on the front of the peloton before. French rider who's a top climber. Really gifted bike rider, this lad. He was at AG Dessert for a while, now Decathlon. Moved to EF. See if he gets his chance this week. Chris Hamilton through the centre, and here at the back is Rune Hedegaards requiring a bike or a wheel change. Looks to be a back wheel. Not exactly a rush on here.
No, certainly not a rush, and you could see he stopped at the wrong side of the road, so that'll tell you, how much he's focused. Because it's such a natural thing when you have a mechanical, you go to, on the right hand side of the road, and I don't know, was he going to maybe go for a natural call, or is he waiting for a wheel, or is he waiting for a change of bike? But it's just a surprising one there, stopping on the left and then decide, oh, I have to get over to the other side of the road here.
Now then, hello, attack. Decathlon on the move. We know that Kees Bol had a bit of an issue. We wonder, Decathlon on the move. It's Dan Ola trying to cause mischief. And this has got it going. It means that NSN are going to have to chase and watch. Lotto will have to do the same. It means that everybody now has to wake up. So Dan Ola for Decathlon. Of course, he's got Kees Bol there, but again, Kees Bol, he's a fastest finisher. He's not the big sprint favourite today. There's a lot of sprinters who you'd put above him in the ranking. So why not have a go here for Ola?
Yeah, it's a surprising one. With Bol in there, you'd expect, okay, let's just wait and see, and just you just never know in a sprint. Some of the fast men can be in the wrong position, not get it right, and the rider in that team, he might just be able to get a stage win. But to go on the attack here, maybe it's also just to stretch things out, and yeah, this is, I think, one that a lot of the riders will like as well, where it stretches out a bit and it's not as packed as much all across the road. Also, you get a bit of a better wind up into the finish, because if you continue on, just rolling along, some riders do not like that.
Right. 9 seconds for Dan Ola with just under 20 kilometres to go to Montargis. Nothing was happening. They were rolling along. It was quiet, calm and peaceful. And then bang. One attack, a look around, looks of disbelief behind, and now they've got to chase him. Trying to throw a spanner into the works. Sandy Dujardin back in conversation with sports director. He's the man who crashed. Down at the left wrist there. Pace really up now, and Ola's lead is just growing bit by bit all the time. 11 seconds. NSN are doing most of the chasing, which is their big opportunity with Biniam. Movistar moving up to help the chase as well. Luis Aular is their main sprinter. Going to help is Hesman. Surprised that Movistar are the team to do the chasing and help here?
Yes, it is a surprise. Considering 18 kilometres still to go, 11 seconds for a sole leader here, you would say, okay, let the team that's taking control here and let them do it. In NSN are just really